What up, people? It's Nickopz here, and today I'm going to be making a reaction video. Now, I've never done one of these on my channel where I reacted to another content creator, but I feel like that'll be something interesting to do from now on. And I've seen this content creator go by the name of Moonsault Slayer talk about, takes in Tekken, but he mentioned something about Sonic like 4 days ago that I wanted to talk about. So, in this video, I felt like he made a lot of good points and a lot of bad points too, to be honest. And I'm gonna talk about that because I do not feel like the Tekken community is judging SonicFox fairly. And for all the new people here that don't know anything about me and might think I'm just defending Sonic because my main game is an NRS title, that is not the case at all. I have questioned Sonic's opinions in the past, and a lot of people did not like it. Like I remember in MK11, he had one very, very bad tier list, and I basically kept it real about it, and his community came at me so bad. Anything that you think that I got called, I got called. So I'm not in the realm of just defending Sonic because it's Sonic and he plays the main game that my channel is about. Because if I'm keeping it completely honest, I haven't even personally been playing MK1 that much, even though it's the main game on my channel. I've been playing pretty much everything but that, and especially a lot of Tekken 8 as of late. This has been the first Tekken game I have ever played, and I'm enjoying it. And in this game, even though it's my first Tekken, I've already hit Battle Ruler in this game, and I am absolutely loving this game so far. So let's get into this video where he's talking about the I don't know if you can call it drama kind of that's going on with Sonic in the community right now. So let's get into it.
Topics that we talked about probably like a week and a half ago was SonicFox. SonicFox is very interested in Tekken 8. The game is really good and it's bringing in a lot of Mortal Kombat players, period. I don't know if the Street Fighter players are still here hanging out, but Mortal Kombat players definitely are. SonicFox being one of them. On 2011, SonicFox posted a tweet that says top 3 Zafina in the world at the moment. SonicFox was loving the gameplay. In Tekken 7, Sonic also played Zafina as well, so it would make sense for the character to carry over. But see, what happened, this is the mistake. A day before that, Sonic put on Twitter, Zafina is A tier plus. That's a very, very strong statement. Like, now you're starting to see people put up tier lists and saying where their characters are and where characters should be buffed and nerfed. But for SonicFox to do this on the 10th, like, first off, no one else thinks that she's A plus, but then also it's super early in the lifespan. So that was just some criticisms being thrown at SonicFox at the start.
Okay, so this is something that Sonic does a lot in communities. Also, a point I want to mention, you're watching an opinion video right now. So I noticed what people did with my last Tekken video. Like, they took a lot of stuff out of context because I had an opinion on something and they did not watch the whole video. If you're not going to watch the whole video about my opinion on this subject, then your opinion on my opinion does not matter. Because if you really want to understand, you need to watch the whole video. So, getting to the point that I'm going to make right here, he is saying that Sonic said the character was really good early, and this is something Sonic does. Like, when the game's early, he gives his early opinions on the character and on characters, and a lot of the times they're controversial. They really are. You got the two best Tekken players, or some of the two best Tekken players saying the character's not good, and here comes Sonic saying, "Well, the character is A plus." This is just something he does. So let's get back into the video.
Arsenal Ash was someone who labbed Zafina because, he played Zafina in Tekken 7, so he wanted to see if that power still existed in Tekken 8. It did not. Arsenal also put out some tweets saying that. So when he seen SonicFox saying this, he was
And
like,
Arsenal Ash, if you don't know, he's one of the best Tekken players. I know a lot of people here from Mortal Kombat, so Arsenal Ash and Nee are like some of the best Tekken players.
nah.
Two of the
Don't
best Tekken
fall for
players
it.
from
The
what I've
character is
seen.
trash. She's not the same anymore. There was this whole back and forth between them. Yes, she is good. Yes, she's actually good. You got to try her. This and that. Arsenal and Ash simply responded and said, I will believe you when you win something big with her. All of these tweets saying that the character is powerful, it doesn't mean anything. Go out and win a tournament. SonicFox takes the offer, says, give me time. Now, there's a lot of jokes being thrown around. A lot of people made a big deal about it, but even Arson Ash didn't mean it that way. SonicFox didn't.
So this is another point to point out. When he said that to Sonic, then a lot of people were taking that as, oh, he's coming for Sonic in a type of way. And for the people say like the people that say no, it's not that deep. No, the community is really acting a certain type of way towards Sonic because of what he's done in the game so far, his opinions and how everything has played out. Even if you look at this man's comments right here, like there's so many people dissing Sonic in the comments if you just want to pause and look right here. So this is definitely not me just making the video and making something bigger than what it is. It's no, people are actually saying this stuff.
Take it that way. But still, the question remained. If Zafina truly is A tier plus, then put in the work and prove us all wrong. Because here's the thing about Tekken, right? Everyone's been wrong in the past. People downplayed Akuma at the very start of Tekken 7. People downplayed Fang until Ni won Evos, yada, yada, yada. It goes on and on and on. Tekken players are always wrong, always are right until someone proves them wrong, right? There was another video that Arslan tweeted out as well, where Ni and Arslan were both in agreement, where she was, Zafina is basically trash.
So that's the part I mentioned earlier. So there's a video with the two best Tekken players basically saying that, hey, this character is trash. And then Sonic's like, well, I believe this character is A tier. So usually, this is the problem where this usually happens in NRS games. So Sonic likes doing this, like I said. When he sees that, I don't know if he does this on purpose, but there'll be an opinion that most people have about a character or a thing in the game, and he'll just be like, no, this is how I feel. Forget what everybody else feels. This is how I feel. And then because he is the best NRS player of all time, there's going to be a lot of people who don't know no better that just conform to his opinion, even though a lot of the time Sonic usually, I don't want to say he usually isn't right. If I can do a percentage, I would say, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen of him, I would say he's like, somewhere in that 50-50 or like 60% wrong, honestly. Because Sonic, honestly, and this is no disrespect towards him, he be having some wild opinions sometimes. Just straight up. Like, I remember in Dragon Ball FighterZ, he tried to say that Vegeta assist, when the game first came out, that it wasn't even good. If you go look back at that assist, like do the history, that assist was broken. In MK11, he tried to say like Devora was top tier and, he was going to prove it. Now, he did get a lot of placements with her, but he never won a tournament with Devora, and nobody thought she was top tier, but he was like, nah, this character's top tier, but she just wasn't. But also when there's times where he's wrong and there's times where he's right. In the same game in Dragon Ball FighterZ, he said, he put Hit on the map. Hit was a character people didn't believe in until Sonic picked the character up, did great with him, and then people like, hold up, Hit might actually be a problem. And then in the newest game that just released, MK1, look right. Oh, and another one in MK11, he said something. Go back to MK11. He was like, Scarlet was good, but Scarlet was actually, not all that, but he believed in her. Now, there's a reason I think his opinions are usually so skewed in games, and I'm gonna get into that later. But let's continue watching the video.
Basically what Nee says. This is just kind of catching you guys up to where we're at now, because it is so interesting how things are unfolding. So after that whole back and forth with Nee and Arslan and SonicFox, SonicFox continues to play Zafina, and one of the first events where this person was basically going to showcase their power was Twitch Rivals. I watched this event live because it was just, kind of the first glimpse of Tekken 8 being played by professionals. Even though it's online and it's not really global, it's still something. And also SonicFox was there. I was watching this whole entire event for like an hour, 2 hours, and I was sitting there scratching my head like, when are they going to put SonicFox on screen? And then to my surprise, when they finally showed the bracket, that boy SonicFox got O2'd. Two, did not win not one match, lost against Genghis Khan, and then also lost against Speed Kicks. Now, this performance after claiming the character is A tier plus was just ridiculous, bro. If you were watching the live streams, I was calling this guy the biggest scrub on the planet. I couldn't believe it. You're on Twitter trying to tell everyone to trust that the character is top tier, and then you get completely demolished the moment that you run up against any kind of real competition. And this is the thing, right?
Now, this is where I stopped the video, because not ending the video, but going back into another point of mine. That statement is not fair, Moonsault Slayer, and that is where I think you're really wrong. Now, even though you might have been joking, but if you weren't, this is where I want to point this out. So, Sonic doesn't do good against top like 0.3% players, and you're on your stream calling him trash. That makes no sense. Like I said, you were probably joking because you were laughing a bit, but to call somebody trash, especially when they could beat you, because Sonic could definitely beat you. This is, like I said, not just coming to his defense on everything. This is keeping it real. He could beat you, but I like in your video, I can see your rank right here. You're a flame ruler rank, so that is not anywhere near what he is with a lot of his characters. And you could have other characters, I don't know. And if you are past red ranks, which you are considered a above average player. Most players are stuck in like red and orange rank, the ones that are really trying to learn. So you obviously know what you're doing some, but to call somebody trash because they did not do well against top 0.3% players is wild. And it's those type of ignorant opinions that the FGC has that really hurts the FGC, because if we're keeping it real, a lot of people like to attack Sonic early when he tries out new games, and like, you might do that in MK, but you're not going to do that over here. You might do that in MK, but you're not going to do that over here. But the fact is, at least he's trying. A lot of communities try to do this when it comes to Sonic, like try to gatekeep, like, oh no, he's not going to be able to do this over here. We're not going to allow this or whatever. And then the community, like I said, in this comments, you can look at the comments if you don't believe me, because this is really how people think. They really, will attack him if he fails, but at least he tries to play the other games. All these communities say these things about, oh, Sonic is not going to do this here and do this there, and NRS is weak, this and the other. If it's so weak, why aren't y'all players coming over here and dominating NRS? I don't see no Tekken player dominating NRS. Like, I don't see, even a Street Fighter player dominating NRS. And I think Street Fighter 6 is the best fighting game out right now, even better than Tekken 8, in my personal opinion. And I'm still saying that. I don't see any other people from all these fighting games coming and dominating NRS, but they always got something to say about NRS. If it's so weak, if it's so easy, come dominate it. Now, Street Fighter, the only 3 games that have a leg to stand on why they don't want to do it is Street Fighter, Brawlhalla, and Smash, because there's actually decent money in them games. But so if they can say, oh, well, we don't want to do it for the money or whatever, because the problem with NRS is, even though it has all that prestige, the money that they give out equating to all that prestige is piss. They do not give their pro players enough money at all. So if you want to be like, well, we don't want to do it because the money's so low. Okay, those 3 games, Brawlhalla, which it feels funny to bring up, Brawlhalla, what's the second one? We got Brawlhalla, Street Fighter, and I'll remember the other one later. Those games have I said in the video, but those games have a leg to stand on. They can actually say something like, no, we don't want to compete in this game because y'all money looking funny. And it was Smash. So, but Tekken, y'all don't have a leg to stand on. I know about that that Tekken World Tour in 7, where the top player had to win a whole tour and only got $3,000 or $5,000. Like, yeah, that's crazy. When, especially Street Fighter out here, you win their tour, you getting $1 million. I just posted a video on that. So not Street Fighter, I keep saying Street Fighter. Tekken players don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to that, because if you want to say that, well, this player ain't going to do that, and want to talk about the best NRS player in a certain way, none of your players are coming to dominate the game. And Street Fighter also has another leg to stand on, because a lot of their best players, the game is banned there, so they can't do it. But what's stopping Tekken players from playing NRS and trying it out, trying to dominate, if it's so easy? That's the point I'm trying to make. So I am saying to you, Moonsault Slayer, if you meant that, that's a personal ignorant statement, in my opinion, because like calling somebody trash because they can't beat your 0.3 top percent players when he's, getting into the game and everything and still new, that's like kind of wild, in my opinion. But let's continue.
The online ranked or whatever, you get a different experience than if you're actually playing against another pro player. When
That
two
is true.
pros collide, it's a totally different game that's being played. So Sonic Fox probably felt like Zafina was really
And
good because
I don't want to pause, but that's another thing I had to say. Okay, so in the other, in all the other fighting games I've played, like I've in every fighting game I play, I aim to be like usually one of the no, every fighting game I've touched, I've pretty much been the top rank in the game. So you're saying that there's a difference between, when you're see two pros collide, it's a different game. You're saying that, but again, this is your main game, Moonsault Slayer, from what it looks like. This is your main game and your Flame Ruler rank. That is not the tippity top of the game. So I don't get, who are you to judge that? Like, you're saying that, and it could probably be right, but you're like the wrong person to judge that, in my opinion. So that's just what
climb
I
the
want to
ranks
mention.
really, really fast. But when you go up against another pro, FDX or Genghis Khan, Speed Kicks, they're going to test you. Joey Fury, Cuddle Core, and the Zafina fell short. I don't know what happened immediately after that, but Sonic Fox started to realize that Zafina maybe isn't the character that should be played. A tweet, this one is iconic. Take a screenshot, post it on your wall. It says, I'm absolutely in love with Feng Wei in Tekken 8 2. I think I will hard main this character over Zafina. I legit reached Tekken King with him so easily. He's so sick, and I think he's mad broken. Now, this is so interesting for many different reasons. One, you were just saying how cool and fun and powerful Zafina is. You lost it, and now you're switching. But then also, Feng Wei statistically is the most deadliest character in the game. For the pros, he's top 5 most dangerous, powerful character in the game. So you switch from a character who everyone already said was trash to now one of the most godlike characters in the game. And then you go on to say like how you just reached Tekken King with him so easy. Of course, he's broken. You also have this topic of the pro players only play characters they feel are powerful. Gone are the days where people play characters that they actually like, and now most pros just play what's powerful, what gets them wins. It's rare. Like you have like a Anakin who sticks with Jack no matter what. Cuddle Core. There's certain players who stick to one character. JDCR with Dragonoff. But then you have others who just switch around and look for power. And because you have this thing where people don't want the characters drive, this hunger for I want the strongest character in the game. It just changed playing a character because the character is cool and investing time into that character.
Now he seems like he's, just going on about, something else that's not relevant to this video. So to make my final statements about everything, to try kind of combine everything up, the way that the Tekken community is responding, and I am saying that because I've noticed a lot of people too, Sonic Fox and his opinions on the game. Like I said, I don't think it's a right to fairly judge it, because at least he's trying your game out. He's trying to learn your game, and that's not something that the Tekken players do. I haven't seen no Need, no Arslan, no JDCR, all these players that people talk. I haven't seen them even touch a lick of MK, and none of those people are talking about him. I want to make that clear. But it seems like the community keep bringing up, oh, the pros, this, the pros, that. Your pros aren't even saying this about him, so why are y'all saying this about him? It makes no sense. But what is good that I've noticed about this, and this is the part I want to link to the video because I feel like a lot of people aren't going to make it here, and this is one of the most important parts that I have to say is, I kind of, when he's talking about his Zafina got destroyed in the tournament, I think that that is a good thing. Now, just hear me out, because unfortunately, with Sonic's opinions, if this was NRS and if this was a Mortal Kombat game and Zafina was in the game and he says that Zafina is S tier, A tier, since he's so dominant in the games, even though he is for the, I'm not going to say for the most part, I'll give him 50-50. He's wrong on a good amount of things. He would have taken Zafina to top three bare minimum in a tournament. So people would have looked at the character differently, even though he was wrong, even if he was wrong. That is where Sonic's opinions can end up getting so skewed in that regard. Because if you look at, games, if you look at the NRS life cycle and the games and everything, he makes his opinions about the characters, but since he can back it up because he is one of the best players, the best NRS player of all time, he can pretty much say whatever he wants and have his community and a lot of people that don't know any better eating right out of his hand. But when he tries to do that in other communities, it doesn't really work like that. The only one I've seen it work is Dragon Ball Fighters and probably Skullgirls because he runs that game too, apparently. But he couldn't do that in a game like Street Fighter or Tekken, and that shows me more that he doesn't usually be right about a lot of his opinions. He just has no check. Sonic doesn't have a check from the game he dominates, so I think he feels like he could do it in other games too, but that's not the case, and I think that's a good thing. Because right now, like I said, if this was an NRS game, we would be dealing with that opinion like it's law. Like people would actually think Zafina or whatever her name is A plus, dang near S tier just because Sonic said so. When usually, like, his opinions kind of be wild, just keeping it real. And like I said, I feel like that check and balance is good in other fighting games. That's what I like about other fighting games because they have, what I've noticed looking into other fighting games, they have the checks like this top player says that, this top player might say that, this top player says that, but this top player might say that. And in NRS, we don't have that check because the only person that challenges Sonic to a level where, and he's not his training partner, is Ninja Killer. And Ninja Killer is not really vocal like that. So Sonic is not used to having that check that can be like, well, you said this and but that. And even when, he started to feel like people were combating his opinion too much, he decided to call, 99% of the players bad just because they didn't agree with what he was saying, which is not fair, honestly, because like I said, his opinions are so skewed. In my opinion, it's because how he chooses to learn the game, from what I've seen. He usually has his training buddies, like 2-3 people he plays with a lot, builds them up, tracks people, down that are good with characters, gets matches out of them, and he has his way. He stays at the top, and it works for him, and there is nothing wrong with that. But if you have, these people that you play with, and this person might be better with a character that everybody that thinks is bad, and you go, well, this character's not that bad because my training buddy here can play this character at a level. Your training buddy doesn't matter in the grand scope of things. That's why I always say, like, when you're looking at tier lists, it's better to look at a person that understands the game, like, in a broad, spectrum, instead of just the tippy top of gameplay, because most people aren't playing at that rank, and a lot of the people at that tippy top of gameplay, honestly, from what I've seen in a lot of games, more, but I'm not saying it's that bad. Some of their opinions be very bad. It just do, because the game is, and not even, I don't even want to say bad. The game is skewed in a different way to where it's like you don't, the top players' opinions aren't what the world is going through. Like, they're fighting the same 30 people. So, like I said, that's another reason I feel like people are bad at viewing tier lists, because, a lot of top, now if there is that top player that, goes out of his way to fight like a lot of different people, just not the same people he's used to, the training buddies to keep his skills high, and actually studies the game, then that person can have, good opinions. I've seen pros with good opinions, but most of the pros don't do that. And that's not saying all their opinions bad. I'm just saying if a pro player's opinion's bad, that's probably why it is. So that's the only point I'm trying to make on that. I kind of went, on about that because I feel like that was important. But to sum everything up about this video, Sonic just wants to play the game, and there's no need for every community to be on his head whenever he's trying to learn the game and get good in other games, because the game that he dominates, everybody tries to OS like, oh, you wouldn't do that, you wouldn't do that. But when he tries to, everybody's like, he doesn't, when he's instantly not a top 8 player, like, oh well, see, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do this. Now, where it's hard to defend him is he usually doesn't, like, if Sonic dominates Street Fighter or Tekken, you can't not deny he's one of the best fighting game players, or if not the best fighting game player of all time. I think that's the only thing missing from his catalog is dominating a fighting game with a lot of prestige, like a Street Fighter, like a Tekken. But he usually, from what I've seen, doesn't stick to it. He usually stays in his lane, so it's hard to defend him in that aspect. So we're just gonna see how everything goes. Like I said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Tell me what you thought about like my takes on things in the comments below. This is just how I feel about the game, and you know how I feel about how people are reacting to all the different opinions that are going on. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And Nickopz out.